Welcome to the Smart Science measuring video about the inertial balance lab. An inertial balance is just a fancy way to talk about an object on the end of a spring, but instead of a traditional spring, you can see this is sort of two pieces of metal that can bounce back and forth, and they get locked onto a table so that one end is fixed and one end can move. The moving end, you can then slide in these extra masses to try to increase or decrease the mass of the object and see how the period of motion changes. So we can either add 0 grams, 250, 500, or 750 grams to the inertial balance and see what happens to the period of the spring. So this is a spring-like device. We're going to try to figure out how mass affects that period. In other words, the time for the inertial balance to go all the way to the right and then all the way back to the left to where it started. That time is called the period. So first you're going to pick or write a hypothesis you'd like to test. Just to show you how that works, if I click on any one of these, it becomes my hypothesis. If you were to write one, same thing would happen. It would go into that box. And then we're going to go ahead and just pick one of the 4 videos, press play. Notice you will hear the mass moving back and forth. Okay, so there's that inertial balance with no added mass, just the regular amount of the mass of the object itself. And we're going to click on the left front corner of the balance tray. Let's see, here's the balance, here's the left front corner. So I'm just following the instructions, clicking on this corner. What you're going to see is the movement in terms of position and time are being put on my graph and in a data table. And so what is the period? Well, as you look at this movement, the period will be the time to come all the way back to where we started, right about there. So look for that period amount right about on that 0 point where we started. Read that off. Do that for all 4 different videos, 1 mass, 2 masses, and 3 masses, which are listed up here and how much mass they are added to the inertial balance. And try to figure out how mass affects the period of motion for this spring-like device in the Smart Science Inertial Balance Lab. Oh, by the way, when you're done measuring, always press save to get the data up into your list here, and then use the all button to compare your different graphs once you've made more than one.